They say God works in mysterious ways and that life is planned out before we were even born. See, if you would have asked me what I want to be growing up, I would have said a professional baseball player or an architect. If you would have asked me I want to be a barber and cut hair for a living, I would have said hell no. I'll never be a barber. I hated it. See, barbering was in my bloodline. My grandfather was a barber, my mother was a barber, my father was a barber, my uncle was a barber. I couldn't stand the idea of it. I despised it. They never had time for me. When I played sports, they would literally drop me off and pick me up after the game. So why am I a barber? My life completely changed when I was 13 years old. I went from a child to a man in a matter of days. I nearly lost both of my parents to 2 separate car accidents, about 21 days apart. My father got cut off by an older couple and flipped a semi-truck, which led him into the ICU at the hospital. After being by his side day in and day out with my mother, my big brother decided to take me to Disney World to clear my mind. While on our way back home, that's when my mother got her car accident. See, my mom spent the night at the hospital with my dad since me and my brother weren't at home. She pulled over due to a flat tire. A drunk driver slammed into her parked car. The crazy part about it is that we actually drove past and saw the aftermath of the accident, not knowing that was our mother. Thank God my parents were able to pull through. It wasn't easy transitioning from a child to a man, holding down the household, taking care of my father while my mother was in a rehabilitation center due to the fact that she was now in a wheelchair and would never be able to do hair again. To get my mind off of things, I used to go to my friend's apartment, Gus, the neighborhood barber. Being influenced by hip-hop and the art of graffiti, I saw Gus put a part in someone's head and realized that maybe I can draw in someone's hair. My first piece was a dragon. I realized that I found my niche and it sparked my interest in barbering. Being able to transition my art from paper to hair, it helped me become fond of the idea of becoming a barber full time. After watching Gus cut hair every day, I figured out how to do a basic fade. I convinced one of my boys to let me cut his hair by agreeing to let him cut mine afterward. So I grabbed my dad's clippers, and about 2.5 hours later, he had a fade. It was real high, but it was faded. A 2.5 on top and skin on the sides. At the time, I was in a breakdancing crew called BMC, Bust a Move Crew. There were about 15 of us in the crew, and they trusted me enough to let me practice on them. Of course, it was free, so they were down. It came natural. After about a month of everyday cutting, I was able to start charging those infamous $5 haircuts. My father noticed how serious things was getting when he realized I had the whole apartment complex on lock. He sat me down and explained to me that if I was real serious about being a barber and making this my career, I had to understand that this is a lifestyle and I had to learn the real fundamentals of being a real barber. So my father stressed the importance of knowing how to cut with scissors and how to properly use the straight razor. By this time, I knew I wanted to be a barber, but not an average barber. I wanted to be the best. Because of my passion and dedication, I was able to master every style. My designs were second to none. I had local barbershops calling, trying to recruit me to work at their shop. I was only 15 years old, unlicensed, and they didn't care. By the time I knew it, I was cutting everybody in my high school, even the teachers and the security guards. For homecoming and prom, I used to cut hair in my woodshop class, and my apartment was flooded every day of the week. I was making about $900 to $1,200 a week as a teenager. I felt like I was on top. Right out of high school, things got real serious. My high school sweetheart and I were on the verge of having our first child, while at the same time I partnered up with a friend of mine to open up my first shop, House of Fades. About 1.5 years later, barbershop was successful. My wife and I decided to leave Miami and start a new chapter in our life. I knew that I was going to have to start all over again, somewhere that no one knew me. So I had to do something different to stand out from the rest. I decided to brand myself, but at the same time, it had to be something that can help expose this industry. Being that everything I did and loved was inspired by the hip-hop culture, and I realized that barbers played a major role in hip-hop, but weren't recognized for it. So I thought about the 5 elements of hip-hop: DJing, MCing, breakdancing, graffiti, the knowledge of hip-hop. And since my art was inspired by graffiti and I was a b-boy, I came up with the 6th element of hip-hop, the urban style barber. Now, after establishing myself in Tampa, Florida, and building my following on social media, I was informed about a hair show convention in Orlando. Since it was local, I decided to attend. The show made me realize that there was a lot more out there than just being stuck behind a chair. I got hooked and started searching for more shows and came across the Bronner Brothers Hair Show in Atlanta, Georgia. I was able to meet Curtis Smith, P. Diddy's personal barber and the founder of the Exotics hair product. We spoke, exchanged information, and kept in touch. About a year or so later, he contacted me and extended the opportunity to become a part of his team. Now from that moment on, my life as a barber hit a whole nother level. I started doing platform work, which helped me gain exposure and recognition by major companies like Against the Grain magazine, Babyliss Pro Clipper Company, Barbershop Connect, who not only got me an article on Urban Ink Tattoo magazine, but also awarded me the Best Barber of the Year 2011. I had 2 of my designs featured in the most popular barber educational app, the Pacino app, Volume 1. I'm currently sponsored by Graph Edge Pencils and was recognized by Barbers Only magazine Top 50 Most Influential Barbers 2 years consecutive, 2013 and 14. I have also done work for major companies like MasterCard, Google, TruckFit, a commercial for White Castle. I had my work featured in Platinum Award-winning Latin pop singer Noelia's music video, Kiss Me. And had a cameo in major recording rap artist Ply's music video, We Are Trayvon, a tribute to the death of Trayvon Martin, which by the way was to raise money for the Trayvon Martin family. Currently, I've been able to work alongside my mentor Curtis Smith's newest venture, the Exotics Hair Battle Tour, where he has made me a permanent educator and partner traveling state to state teaching classes and hosting barber battles. One of the most humbling things about all of this is that now other barbers, students, and professionals have been reaching out to me, letting me know how much I inspire and motivate them through all the things that I have accomplished in this industry. Throughout the years, I have taught and helped a lot of barbers, whether it was cutting hair or just motivating them to gain their passion back. But there's one in particular that I hold closest to my heart. My nephew, Adrian Lima. He grew up with me in the barbershop. He was that little kid sweeping the shop floor for a couple dollars. So the summer before his senior year, Adrian told me he wanted to become a barber when he graduated. That was huge to me, so I bought him everything he needed. I told him to start practicing on his friends, and once he finished high school, I would move him up here with me to Tampa and teach him everything I know. Adrian didn't miss a beat. He wasted no time. In 8 short months, he knocked barber school out the way, passed his test, and started working at the shop. Now only 2 years in, he built a strong clientele, has placed in 8 barber competitions and counting, and is building a name for himself in this industry. Now after being a barber for over 16 years, I built a high level of work ethic through my hustle and ambition to want more for my family, myself, and this industry. I built it by always making myself noticed. I was being annoying without being annoying. I've been networking at hair shows and barber battles since the first one I attended. In the barbershop, I always pride myself on bettering my skills and building strong relationships with my clients. I'm real self-motivated. I know what I want and I know what I need to make it happen. My family drives my motivation. I will always provide for them, giving them everything they deserve and everything they want when they want it, helping my friends and being their stepping stone so they can reach their dreams, and to serve my purpose in this amazing life that God has given us. I've been inspired by barbers like Curtis Smith, Donald Connolly, Danny Amorum, Jay Majors, Eric Pacino, G Barber Wheels, D.O. Master Barber, and many more by watching them open doors and elevate us as master barbers. And that's why I knew I wanted to become a part of something bigger than myself, this industry. It's been a long road through trials and errors, a lot of growth, some personal, some business, from making better financial decisions and sacrifices to managing time and balancing my life so that I never forget who and what I'm doing this for. It's not easy at all. Sometimes you might find yourself lost and confused, wanting to give up. But if you stay humble, stay focused, and stay determined, everything in due time will come together. Continue to better yourself, continue to educate yourself. I'm just now starting to scratch the surface, and there's a lot more coming. I will continue to be inspired by the way our industry takes people from the streets, homeless, or in prison, and changes their lives by giving them the financial freedom they never imagined they would have. They say God works in mysterious ways. So why am I a barber? God had a bigger plan than I had for myself. Something I despised for so long turned out to be my passion. I love what I do.